that type of stuff. I don't use it, but it's fun to practice it.
Yeah, you can use it if like an ID is better. Credit cards.
Yes.
You can do it like this and use their arm.
Yeah.
And it looks really nice, but you don't show them a change.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can you say your name, please, sir?
Sebastian Tovani from MSN Argentina.
Okay, we're rolling.
Okay. So Apollo Robbins, formerly as a magician or pickpocket expert?
Still both, yeah.
Yes. So what's the difference between magic and what you're doing right now, or what you did in the movie?
You know, it's a little bit different in that magic has an immediate effect. Magicians want you to know that they deceived you. So they make things disappear, float, change places. For a con or any type of deception that people do for a living, like card cheating, they don't want you ever to discover it. So you have to keep the deception as a normal without them knowing it. And there's a jazz to it in that you can't pre-plan what somebody's going to do. So you have to be flexible. And some magic has that, but a lot of magic is very pre-planned.
How much percentage would you say is sleight of hand and how much is psychology?
A lot of it's psychology. If there's sleight of hand in the real world, they usually only learn one or two things and they do just that and they become very good at that. But most of it is psychology of knowing where someone is, how much attention they're spending on this versus this, and when to do it.
There's a difference between a show, pickpocket show you do in Las Vegas, for example, and the real deal out in the streets.
Completely.
So what are the differences?
Well, on stage, I can talk to you, and I can tell you that I'm going to steal from you. I can do it as a demonstration. On the street, I have to use something in the environment, like an escalator or an elevator or revolving doors, and I can use those, but I can't talk to you. So it's very limiting in that when I ask you questions, I can make you distracted on stage. But in the real environment, I have to hope that your cell phone or something that I have somebody else do allows me to steal from you. I've done both in that way.
Is there a school for that?
Yes.
Yes?
Illegally,
of course.
Illegally, yeah. There's legends of schools both in Italy and also in Colombia. The School of the Seven Bells is the legend with the mannequin. But there's different ways of training too, of specific techniques with putting a sheet on a table with a big rock and practicing pleating it. There's different techniques too.
Well, I'm from Argentina, so there's a big movement there. So there are a lot of pickpocketers from all over the world as well, mostly Latin American countries. So do you say that they use the same techniques? They use techniques just appropriate for this situation, or there are like world-known techniques that everybody uses?
It's a little bit of both. I find that there's techniques that are specific to a country. So there is in South America a group that does where they'll have a blade in their mouth and they'll spit it to their hand, and then they'll use the blade to cut, and then they keep it in their mouth. So they use the blades to cut the pocket to steal. The Colombian teams that I've seen are very good at working collectively together, and they use a lot of hand signals to each other, and they do a lot of choreographed movement between each other, and they travel a lot too. And in Spain, the gypsy groups that are there, and also in Italy, have different types of techniques of how to steal from the upper body or how to steal luggage.
We saw a couple of scenes in the movie, mostly in the first part, where they're working the Wistim group, groping, just making a distraction of the situation, and then you had like 15 guys doing that. Is that real or just for the movie?
Well, if it was 15, it'd probably be a family.
Yeah.
In the real world. But the most I've seen is about 6 or 7, and usually that will happen in a way that they are. It does happen off the tables and those types of things, cafes a lot, and it usually is a fight. The heart attack was an example of what could be, but sometimes people don't care about the heart attack. But a fight they will, or something else with somebody calling out fire, and people have a tendency not to pay attention to their bags in those ways.
So could you give us a demonstration?
Sure.
I have a cell phone here.
Yeah.
Just put it here. Is that okay?
Well, here, I'll do 2 things. Yeah, you can put it inside your jacket, and I'll show you 2 ways.
Okay.
So the way that I steal it is different than the way somebody else would. So in this, your pocket is a little bit easier for me to access to.
Yeah.
A real pocket, you have other things in there too.
Yes.
And you don't want me to take these out in public.
You couldn't. Yes.
Some playing cards and things.
Exactly.
Yeah. Magic.
And I have the key cards to my room, so that's okay.
I don't need that yet.
Okay.
But so your phone in this way.
Yes.
If I'm a magician, I can steal just by doing this. But now, see, this you have to choose. Do you look there? Do you look here? And then I pull it out. But if I want to do it more covertly, I could reach for your arm, and as I'm grabbing this way, I can remove it. See?
Yeah. Because
So-
you're blocking my view.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
as
see
I
it.
hold your hand up, I can
Yeah.
steal from this way, and you don't know I had access to your pocket that way. So that's something that is more similar to what's done on the street. But in their situation, they would do it differently. So on the street, they wouldn't have a reason to move your hand. So if you turn this way,
Yeah.
so if I take something and I hand it to somebody behind you, it's the same thing. As I go to hand it over you, I can go inside and steal. And then as my hand comes down, I now pass it back to them. So if you check me, I don't have anything on me.
Because
I
my
passed-
side always follows your left hand.
Yeah, in this case, yes.
Yes.
And the bag, and you might look at me, but I'm so close, you don't want to look at my face that way. So you'll usually follow over. And if you do check your wallet, you'll grab me. You'll never go for the person behind you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this, I guess the side pocket is a lot of easy.
The
It's
side
easier.
pocket is easy. Front pockets are also easy.
Yes.
The inside jacket usually is very hard. This is one of the few types of steals I've seen for an inside jacket. But usually they don't want to do that because they don't want you to remember their face.
For example, in the movie, you use a lot of luggage stealing, like a shell luggage.
Yeah, those are called booster bags.
Booster bags.
Yeah,
Do they really exist?
Yeah, they do. Now, there's a new one that I made up for the movie where the side pops up and
Yeah.
goes and grabs it, which would require another rolling luggage. But normally they just put it over the top or drop another bag inside. Because now I don't have to run away. I can sit down and have coffee right next to you after I steal your bag. So booster bags are used both for shoplifting, and they put tin foil inside the bag, so that way it can go past the security systems and it doesn't set off the alarm.
So, what's the best con movie you ever seen?
You know, I haven't got to see this one yet, so it's
Apart
nice.
from
that-
this one.
Yeah, so what's nice is I don't have to
You're
answer
clear,
this
yeah,
one, yeah.
yeah.
But from the clips I've seen on this one, I really like it because it's
Yes.
authentic and it's real. But prior to that, I'd say I like Matchstick Men a lot for the same reason this one, in that the con man had humanity. He was OCD and he had these problems, and yet he's still able to pull off the con. And in this one, his humanity is the woman, and it falls out as a vulnerable.
And do pickpocketers have an expiration date? Like, you see guys from 70 or 80 years old doing the same thing, or it's just more
It's
like
cultural again. Yeah, it's cultural again. So with the gypsies, it might be that you have an old lady pretending she can't hear as she's asking you a question and giving you a card and stealing your cell phone off the table. So you might have that. In other groups, it might be that they try not to do those, but they might be able to catch their balance on you. So it depends on what part of the country, how old they are when they're still doing it.
Okay, well, great. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Nice to meet you.